The complete snowboarding USA qualification system to make it to the Olympic Games. I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to break it down so even the most layman like myself can understand it. Because people sometimes, Brad J., people keep asking me, how do you make the U.S. team in snowboarding for slopestyle, big air, and for halfpipe? How do you make that team, Brad J.? And people keep asking me, and I try to explain it. Well, there's selections and there's certain events that riders have to do good at. And then I finished the show yesterday, and the wife came up to me and said, you're really doing a crappy job of explaining how somebody qualifies to compete for USA in the upcoming Olympics in snowboarding. You're doing a crappy job. My wife told me that. Okay. Fair enough. I looked at it from the outside and said, you know what? Probably could do a better job explaining it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Going to explain exactly how it works, who's in the lead, what's at stake, how many competitions are left. It all starts right now. Access Media Snowboard. Qualification criteria. That's about as much snow as they have there right now. No, but joking, but not joking. Snow will come. I've done 8 different Olympics, and the snow definitely shows up at some point. Okay, let's talk qualification system. What's the criteria on this? This is where it starts to get kind of crazy. Okay. You see all this, you see all this stuff, right? So I'm going to try to do a better job because my wife is nagging on me saying I'm doing a crappy job at it. 4 riders on the women's side get picked for the USA team. 4 riders on the men's side, right? And that is for slopestyle and big air. They got to compete in 2 separate competitions, big air and slopestyle. 4 men, 4 women represent USA. Okay, we got that. Half pipe, how does that work? Same deal. 4 men, 4 women represent the USA. Who has been picked so far, right? Is there anyone that is already set to compete in the Winter Olympics for Team USA on the snowboarding side of things? And yes, there is. 2. Count them, 2. Red Gerard has already made the qualification. How did he do it? Look at number 1 right here. Okay? Look at number 1 to the side of me here. Top American in the top 3 world rank as of 5/1/25. I think that is how he did that. That was his qualification. Now, best single top 10 results in selection events. Now, selection events have already been happening. So these are events that they select for the riders to do good at. If they do good at these events, if they get a podium, they're almost guaranteed a spot on the team. Almost. Remember, the views expressed by Brad J are not the views expressed by U.S. Ski and Snowboard. Anyways, get that out of the way. They have to do good at these events. And so that is the number one thing when it comes down to it. No matter, look, there is a World Cup going on in Calgary for halfpipe. That's not one of the single selection events that is picked. Okay. There's also number 3, as you can see right there, discretionary selection. And some say in 2018, Shaun White was possibly on the verge of not outright making the team from the beginning, but he did good by, I think he got a perfect 100. I called that comp and qualified in to represent the U.S. And some say there would have been a discretionary selection there to put him on the team no matter what. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. But it's what they do in these certain events mean everything. And then number 4, next best results from selection events outside of the top 10. So these are selection events, the same ones that they've already selected, and you're outside the top 10. So they'll go to that next rider. Okay, so what are the selection events, Brad? Can you break them out? Yes, there is only 2 left. Okay? On halfpipe, there is only 2 left, in the same deal on slopestyle and big air. That's it. 2 left. But in slopestyle and big air cases, well, that's 2 comps in 1, so they're going to get an extra shot at it. So Aspen, coming up here, I'll be at that one. That's the 7th through the 10th. That is going on. There's going to be halfpipe going on, and they have moved slopestyle to Snowmass. So halfpipe will be at Buttermilk, and then over at Snowmass will be slopestyle. and both of those are selection events. So you need to do good or get a podium in those events to secure a chance on the Olympic team. And since Red Gerard's already on the team, that means there's only 3 spots on the Slopestyle Big Air team on the men's side, just 3 left. On the women's side, 4 spots available on the women's side. And they could change that, but right now 4. Halfpipe side of things, Chloe Kim's the only one who secured a spot. So 3 spots open on the women's side, and all 4 spots are open in halfpipe for the men. See, and look how close we are. That's where it comes down to it. And the remaining 2 events is Aspen coming up here in just about a week, and then Locks after that, the 15th through the 18th. Those are the last 2, and both of those count for the team. So on the men's side, let's just break it down. Red Gerard is in. Who are the other top 3? All right. Well, you got to give it up for this dude right here. Ollie Martin has already got a podium. That was 3rd place out there in Steamboat. I was there for that one. And he climbed up on the podium. We handed him the award. So 3rd place. So there's a podium right there for him. Ollie Martin also, keep this in mind, goes back to number 4. Numbers outside the top 10 or just above the podium. So 4th place in Aspen as well. So right now, Ollie Martin, I don't see how he is not a lock. I mean, it's not official like a referee's whistle at this point, but that dude is locked in. I don't see how he does not make the team. And that's because if you look at the criteria, if you look at what it says, you can see it right there. Best single top 10 results in selection events. And those were selected events. 4th in Aspen, 3rd in Steamboat. It's not official, but I'll guarantee right now, I'm going to go ahead and Brad Stradamus predicts that he will be announced as a team member in Aspen on the 10th. Okay? So I'm going that route with him right there. Now, is there someone else? Yes, there is. Shaun Fitzsimons. Shaun Fitzsimons has a podium in a selected events. That was 3rd in Aspen Slope last year, and that counted. Aspen Slope was a selected event from the end of the season last year in which Fitzsimons got 3rd. Didn't do quite so well at Steamboat, 16th, but that 3rd, if you look at it, that's a podium. And that's what the qualifications say. So if you look at Red Gerard being in, you can bet your bottom dollar Ollie Martin's going to be on that team, and you can pretty much bet the bottom dollar that Shaun Fitzsimons is on that team too. Now, what could change that? Somebody finishing higher than 3rd, because look, Ollie's best one is 3rd. Okay, Shaun Fitzsimons' best one is 3rd. If somebody came out and got a 2nd or actually won the competition, I know that's could be out there a little bit. But if that happened, that would move somebody out of the spot. So even if Ollie Martin's in, even if Shaun Fitzsimons in, Red's already in, who's the 3rd? I mean, who's the 4th? Is it Judd Hankis? He's been putting results up. A 6th at Steamboat? Is it him? Could he be the one? I mean, and Dusty Hendrickson could come out and make something happen. Jake Cantor, Brock Crouch, the KG veteran, right? This could change. See, Brooklyn DePriest, he's got a 21 and a 16, but he's also got a better finish in another competition that's not a selected event. But if Brooklyn DePriest comes out and do what he can do, that guy could definitely be there. But right now, you have to look at Shaun Fitzsimons, that 3rd place, and you have to, no matter what, look at Ollie Martin too. And what's the goal right there? That right there. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to win a spot on Team USA to represent in Milano Cortina 2026. And that is what is up for grabs right now. So you got to wonder, how's that going to work out? Who's going to be it? Ollie Martin? I'll bet you, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not because in Vegas I always do crappy, but Shaun Fitzsimons, I would put money on him with that 3rd in Aspen on a selected event. Ollie Martin, a 3rd at Steamboat, another selected event. And those guys could secure spots by podium or getting top 5. You got to think coming up for sure. You got to think coming up in Aspen that could happen. But then, Dusty, Jake, Judd Hankis, Who is going to be that extra one? Who's going to be the fourth one? Now, let's talk on the women's side of things. On the women's side, I didn't know about this. I was on the fence about Jamie Anderson, the comeback that she was making after having two awesome kids. She makes a comeback into snowboarding. But the more I look at this move by her, I think it's absolutely genius. At first, I was like, well, you've been out for 3 years, but you're the queen of slopestyle. You're Jamie Anderson. 6th at Steamboat. She becomes a national champ because that's the highest one of the women has finished. So right now, Jamie Anderson's going to be on that team. And once again, my views are my views, but I'd bet you anything Jamie Anderson's on that team. And if it became down to a discretionary pick for Team USA, I would make sure she's on the team. Veteran, 2-time gold medalist. Enough said. Lily Duanove as well. 4th at Big Air in Aspen last year. That's a selected event. 12th in Steamboat, but she's not really being challenged by the rest of them. So I think Lily's is gonna find her way on that U.S. team. And we'll find out here in Aspen. Rebecca Flynn, a 13th in Aspen, a 21 Steamboat. Jessica Permuter, 22nd in Steamboat. Courtney Rumble has a chance. But the big question marks, Julia Marino and Haley Langland, because the injuries that they have been dealing with, there is not a lot of talk of them coming back and competing. So when I find out more on that, I'll break that down for you. But that's how it breaks down. 2 more selected events for Halfpipe. 2 more selected events, World Cups, I should say, for Slopestyle and Big Air. In both of them, Aspen is the first one, January 7th to the 10th. Be there for that one. Locks, Switzerland, will wrap things up 15th to 18th, and that'll be it. Now, remember, in both of those, there's going to be a Big Air competition and a Slopestyle competition. So it also goes to show how that would work. And if you want to check the schedule out, we can do that because this is the rest of the schedule. See it? Calgary going on this weekend. Calgary going on this weekend, but here's the deal with Calgary. That's not a selected event, but it is a World Cup. So doing good there definitely helps your situation. But once again, it's not a selected event. The 2 above that, you see Aspen and Locks. Those 2 are selected events before the Olympic winter games. So that's how it's going to break down. That is how it works. All right? I hope I cleared things up or didn't make it worse. That's going to do it. Access Media, Snowboard, I'm Brad J. I'll see you on the hill.